name is Rico Correa. Who I am really doesn't matter. What I do, I guess, matters. I'm going to give you just a little bit of feedback and just tell you a little bit about my background, what led me here, why I'm here. But we're going to talk about protecting yourself and doing it before you get into harm's way, not after. You know, I talk to players all the time. They put themselves right in the middle. What's the biggest highway out here? 95. Put themselves right in the middle of Route 95 at 5 o'clock traffic and then wonder why their ass gets hit. Want to blame the driver. Oh, he's going too fast. He was texting. He wasn't paying attention. He was talking on the cell phone. Excuse me. If you're standing in the middle lane of Route 95 at 5 o'clock, is there not a high likelihood your butt is going to get hit? What you doing there? Don't be blaming somebody else. What you doing there? And athletes on the college level and the professional level, every single day, I get them calling, going, oh man, Rico, you got to help me out, man. I'm all jacked up. I'm in trouble. I told you you were going to get in trouble if you did this. Okay? Anybody here ever have a root canal? Raise your hand if you ever had a root canal. Only takes one, huh? All it takes is one root canal. Your butt don't ever want to have another root canal again. Anybody who's ever had a root canal has a valuable appreciation for preventive dentistry. Okay? All it's going to take is one bad decision. All it's going to take is one split second of not thinking through something. And then everybody goes, oh man, I wish I hadn't done it. Oh my goodness, I can't believe, oh my goodness. It's too late then. What we're here for tonight is to talk about asking you to give me 1/125th of a second. 1/125th of a second. Now, why do I ask that? I'll tell you why. 1/125th of a second is how much time it takes you to ask and answer this question. How might my next action affect the rest of my life? Now, it takes me 3 seconds to say it to you, right? But it takes 1/125th of a second for you to think it, ask it, and answer it. And what do you think happens when I sit down with professional athletes and college athletes and they're all jacked up and they just lost their eligibility and they're getting arrested and they're all over ESPN and I say, what in the world were you thinking? What do you think the answer is? I wasn't thinking. Your heart can't beat, your eyes can't blink in the amount of time it takes you to stop and ask, how might this action affect the rest of my life? And we get guys all jacked up, all in trouble all the time, and when you ask them why, they go, I wasn't thinking. You mean to tell me you all don't have 1/125th of a second for your life, for your career, for your family, for your reputation? That's what we're going to talk about today. Okay? Before we actually get started, if you disagree with anything I say, come on with it. Come on with it. Just do yourself a favor. I've been doing this a long time. All right? You better come packing. Bring something with you. Bring something with you. Don't just raise your hand and say something just because say something. All right? But if you disagree with anything I say, come on, we'll talk about it. Okay? But what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to have some interaction, because at the end of the day, this is for the purpose of keeping you off of Route 95. Everybody got it? Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you didn't quite make it. Okay, what's the objective? I'm going to tell you what I want to get out of this, then you all can tell me what you want to get out of this. One is realize ways to be able to prevent embarrassing situations. Not just embarrassing situations for yourselves. Because what happens when you all get in the paper? What happens? You just embarrass yourself? Who else you embarrass? You embarrass your family, your mama. Boy, I tell you, man, that's the one thing I never wanted to do, embarrass my mama. Okay? You embarrass your family, you embarrass your teammates, you embarrass your coaches, you embarrass the school, you embarrass the school's program. Okay? We don't want that. Enhance the athlete's perspective of potential barriers. What gets in the way of success? I just wrote a book. I'm going to talk a little bit about the book later on, but I ain't here to hawk my book, so don't worry about it. I didn't even bring it in. Okay? But it's all about success. Okay? It's all about how you gain success. And everybody in here that has a dream, everybody that has a dream has the potential of living that dream. You can do it. Now you got to give up something. You got to give up something. You got to sacrifice something. But what gets in the way, and what I see time and time and time again, is athletes putting themselves in a position where they actually can make something of themselves. They actually can do something. They actually can live a dream. And at the end of the day, they screw it up somehow. And they tumble. Nobody ever went to college in my family, but in my mother's sisters and brothers and the whole family, I was the first one. I was the first one. And everybody told me I couldn't do it. Anybody ever get that? You get all these people who are telling you what I call the helpful detractors. They are people who love you and care for you and always want to look out for the best for you, but what are they always telling you? What are they always telling you? They're always telling you what you can't do. Don't believe that. Don't believe it. Anything that you want to do, you can do. But you can't derail yourself with these things. You can't put yourself in the middle of the highway and then get yourself in trouble.
My name is Chris Hanlon, head athletic trainer at George Washington University. Recently, Rico Correa came to GW to address our student athletes on the subject of player survival skills. He was a dynamic, entertaining, and definitely had a story to tell. He did an excellent job of engaging the student athlete. His style of using humor and practical common sense solutions to issues facing student athletes was impressive. He clearly understands the problems facing athletic programs and student athletes today and provides a roadmap for avoiding negative student athlete attitudes and actions. I highly recommend Rico to any college or high school that's looking for an individual to assist in promoting student athlete success.